Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Four Corners Podcast. I am your host, John Punn, sitting alongside my best friend, my brother, my plutonic lover, Kris Rex. And what an episode we have for you tonight. We're going to talk about a couple of interesting things that are going on in the wrestling world this week. How you doing today, Kris?
I'm doing good. I'm excellent and improving. I pulled it out again. I pulled it out again. But yeah, there's not much to talk about. There's a few interesting topics to bring up. I guess we could start with just some light news, a little bit of just some tidbit. CM Punk. CM Punk has returned to TV in some way. He is now he is now a commentator for I don't even know the MMA promotion's name, but he's a commentator for an MMA promotion now.
Really?
Yeah, in his first gig after AEW. He's a commentator.
He's a commentator, and I have no comment. He went from what could have been, the highlight of his career in AEW to an indie MMA promotion as a commentator.
I mean, it's news, right?
It's news.
It's
news on the highs and lows of Phillip Brooks.
Damn. Well, so I guess we'll move on to Raw now. I just wanted your reaction on that one. We'll move on to Raw.
Jericho.
Well, you know what? Speaking of Jericho, since you brought it up.
Yes.
The Masked Singer. The Masked Singer.
He has not been unmasked yet, but the Bride is a big Dino Bride character that when he opened his mouth, it sounded just like Chris Jericho. If I'm wrong, but I shared it to everybody I could share it to. If you're a wrestling fan, watch The Masked Singer on Fox Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Chris Jericho has not been unmasked yet, but the Bride is AEW superstar Chris Jericho. First wrestler to appear in 7 seasons of the show.
See, I haven't watched the show since I lived with you, but I was scrolling through Twitter before you shared it with me. I was scrolling through Twitter and I seen it, and somebody had posted. I was like, Chris Jericho, Masked Singer, what? I listened to it. I was like, yeah. The second it turned, I was like, yeah, that's Chris Jericho's voice. That's Chris Jericho singing, 100%. But like you said, it's the first time a pro wrestler's been on in 7 seasons.
And when you think about it, also Jericho was on Hall of Fame night, so the winner of this day moved on to next week's show, and the other 2 people had to be unmasked. He beat out George Foreman, who was dressed as a Venus flytrap, and actually guessed him right from his clues and whatnot. I got right, and he beat out hip hop legend George Clinton, Funkadelic George Clinton, who was dressed as a gopher. Yes. It was a great episode. I did not guess him right. I was a little lost on the clues, but he talked about clues with Ray and Snoop Dogg, and I just couldn't figure it out. But it was hip hop legend George Clinton.
California Love. That's the song.
And he beat out George Foreman, which I got him right through his clues. It was cool. But it was a good episode. The Bride will be back next week against 2 new masks, 2 new celebrities. We will find out who they are, because I have a feeling Jericho, as good as he was, can go to the finals.
I don't know. I just don't get how people haven't caught on yet.
But he was disguising his voice. At one point, I thought he was from the UK with what he did with his voice. And then in his Battle Royale song, his second song, where he went one-on-one against George Clinton, he did like a Steven Tyler type of thing with his voice. Well, I thought that was Steven Tyler. I was like, that could be Steven Tyler. but I was listening to the clues and I listened back to that first song, and that sounds just like Jericho. There's no way it can't be him. If it's not him, then my money's on Steven Tyler. But that has to be Jericho. That voice was undeniably familiar.
We're gonna move on to some Monday Night Raw now. There's a few things, just a couple things to talk about there. We have Austin, the big thing, Austin Theory, cashing in his Money in the Bank during an open challenge for the United States Championship, and losing.
I think
that whole thing.
That defeated the Money in the Bank suitcase. I think it made it look stupid, the cash in. You know, they could have done his losing cash in a lot better than that. I think doing it on a match that's already scheduled as an open challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was not a smart idea on Triple H's part or whatever writer came up with that. But I think it could have been. I understand that he was losing it, blah, 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 blah. I just think they could have booked that a lot better. A lot better.
Yeah, agreed.
He could have snuck on, you know, SmackDown and try to cash in on Roman Reigns and lose. You know, the bloodline's there. It's not going to happen. Whatever, you know. Could have done something like that, but the cash in on an open challenge just was pointless.
Yeah. And I do like how they're building Bobby Lashley now.
Yes. It looked like we had a heel face turn in that moment, too. It looked like Bobby Lashley went heel just now.
I just think Austin Theory has that heat that now nobody wants to see him.
Yeah.
No, it's that type of heat. It's that like Sammy Guevara gets now in AEW.
Yeah.
It's that no, dude, we don't want to see you. It's not that you're a heel. It's that we just don't want to see you, and it's sad, and that's because he was shoved down our throats, and then Triple H kind of just killed him since the reign started.
Yeah, he did. He buried him. He sure did bury him.
He did. Now, we have the women's War Games match coming up at Survivor Series.
I like how it started to develop, but you know, it leaves both teams shorthanded right now. You have Damage Control, which now has a new member, Nikki Cross. So you have the four of them missing a fifth partner, and then you have the champion Bianca Belair with Asuka and Alexa Bliss, and they're missing two partners. With the show 2 weeks away, we are gonna, you know, find out who their partners are. But any speculation on your part?
All right. As far as Team Bianca, let's say Team Bianca, for the two partners. Now, I know people have been talking about this for months and months. I think it might finally happen. Sasha and Naomi. Okay. I think it might finally happen for Team Damage Control. I'm thinking either Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch. Yeah.
But Charlotte Flair should have been with the OC, which we'll get to that in a couple of minutes.
Yes, we will get to that.
Anyway, yeah, that makes sense. I see that. Unless
what other two? What are your speculations? What's your 2 and 1?
I didn't think it would be Sasha and Naomi, but you know, I was thinking more of who the fifth person was going to be. I was thinking Bayley was going to bring a fifth member, and it would be Becky Lynch. Just grow that stable with the return of Becky Lynch. Not even Becky Lynch solo, just being her partner. Becky Lynch joins Damage Control. I think I
like that idea.
That would be dope.
I like that idea.
We'll see.
And for the two.
I don't know yet, because this is already a random team starting to be put together. So it might just be a bunch of randomness, unless they bring back, like you said, those.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, who else? Like, that's on TV that, or is that away?
You know, maybe they bring back a face Charlotte Flair for that too. Like I was thinking anyway, she was gonna be with the OC and be face, but it was Mia Yim. The answer
Yes, on the
to
OC. Uh, I called it.
you
I've been
called it. I
saying
was
it.
wrong. I
I've been
boo.
I've
I
been
was
saying it at
wrong.
work. To this dude that
Boo.
this fan that I talked to at work, and I was like, it's gonna be me. I got a feeling it's gonna be me. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, she just finished up Impact tapings. I said, I think that's what they're gonna go with. They're gonna go with me again, and that's actually when I had the chance to plug everything because he was like, I was giving him news and everything, and he's like, oh well, how do you know? I was like, yo, just here, check out our Facebook page, check out our Twitter page. He's like, oh wow, I didn't even know. All right, I'll listen. So Tristan, if you're listening, if you're watching, you know, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you,
But
Tristan. Fuck you. Welcome.
fuck you, welcome. That's the spirit. Yeah. But
This blood.
no. Mia Yim, I think is a nice fit for OC. What are you thinking? Character and that kind of the kind of OC gang Bullet Club vibe. I think Mia Yim goes with that.
She does fit, but when it comes to the Rhea Ripley factor, I think Charlotte is a better match.
Mia Yim can throw down. Mia
Rhea
Yim can throw
versus
down, bro.
Charlotte, I think looks better than Rhea versus Mia.
That's only because of the name. It's
You
only
think so?
because of the name.
Well, we'll see.
Not that it's Flair's name. I'm saying the name. When you write that, it's a marquee match. Yes, off the bat, that's a marquee match. Yeah, 100%. But
Yeah.
Mia, but Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley, I think would be a fucking great match too.
I guess we'll see at War Game.
I guess we will see. Moving on to some AEW.
Yes.
Jeff Jarrett had debuted for AEW.
Interesting. And it looks like he's going to be wrestling too.
He's not only going to be wrestling, but he's involved with the business development.
No, and the full gear, the match is booked. Sting and Darby Allin versus Jarrett and
No, I'm saying not only is he wrestling, but
he's not wrestling.
Not only is he wrestling, but he's also the director of business development for AEW. So,
interesting.
It is interesting.
Being a part of WWE too for so long, and just to go over there out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's banking it. He's been with every company so far.
Yeah.
He's been with every company so far. But not only that, this week, Saraya, formerly known as WWE's Paige, announced that she is medically cleared to come back. Yes.
Always good when you hear somebody had a fucked up injury be able to come back.
And you know what? Fans are being, and that's the thing, a lot of fans are being so toxic towards it. It's like, what you could be happy for Edge, you could be happy for Daniel Bryan, but you can't be happy for Saraya. You know, you can't be happy for Paige. Why not? You know, what is this? What is this thing? Like, be happy for her. She's got a career back. She's able to do something she loves.
So many people had a serious neck injury, and they celebrate those people coming back. But you want to fucking be like this to Paige? It's fucked up. I think, hell yeah, she deserves a round of applause.
And I can't wait to see that comeback match against Britt Baker. You know it's going to be against Britt Baker.
Win the title in your first match.
I don't say that. I don't even say that. I say, just give off a phenomenal performance in your first match, and let's see where we're going to go from here.
Win the title in your first match.
Fucking A.
I'm cheering for you.
No, 100%. I'm happy she's back.
Roman Reigns right now. She's like a state champion.
Moving on to SmackDown now. I feel lately SmackDown has kind of been better with the stories and with the wrestling.
The Roman Reigns, you got Bray Wyatt returning, and now he's being featured on SmackDown. You Got a lot of nice big things going on. It seems like SmackDown is the A show and Raw is the B show now.
That's where I'm getting at. Yes, it feels like that. It's like SmackDown is number one now, and I like that. I
Yeah.
like that because SmackDown was always a sleeper.
I like this World Cup idea that they just started. You have 8 people from different countries in this tournament. You know, the first 2 matches was Jinder Mahal versus Braun Strowman, and you had Nakamura versus Santos Escobar.
Yeah.
With Strowman and Escobar advancing to the next round. Next week, you're going to have Sami Zayn versus Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
And you're going to have, Butch.
Sami
Zayn versus Butch. And you're going to have Ricochet. I forgot who he was. I forgot who the 8th person was. But it was another country. It was another. I forgot who the 8th person was. But I like what they're doing. I like the idea of it. I think it's pretty interesting to have 8 people from 8 different countries in the tournament. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. Even though it looks like that it's leading to a Braun Strowman victory.
Which I don't. I was just gonna say I don't want it to fucking happen.
Looking at everybody in the match, there's nobody big in the match in the tournament but Braun Strowman, and his first match was Jinder Mahal. You know, I mean, come on. What, he's going to fight Ricochet in the second round?
I mean, that would be a good match.
Jinder Mahal
with Ricochet.
No, Braun Strowman. Braun
Strowman.
Jinder Mahal.
That's the thing is, I don't think Braun Strowman should even be in it. I don't think Braun Strowman should have been in. You know what I mean? It should have been something from, because now it's kind of a given.
The American is going to win the World Cup.
Not only that, Braun Strowman is going to win the World Cup.
And then the winner also gets a shot at Gunther.
At the Intercontinental title, yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that aspect to it, where it's all these people from 8 different countries, 8 people from 8 different countries going for the Intercontinental title. It makes sense.
I'd like to see Strowman and Escobar in the finals. The 2 that won today, their first match. I would like to see them 2 as the finals of the tournament. There was no bracket shown. They didn't show a bracket.
Yeah.
2 first-round matches, 2 people qualified. That's it. So what if that right there? That sounds like a finals match.
Why do that to Santos Escobar? Why do that to anybody in this story? You know what I mean?
That is true.
That's the thing. It's hard to book with Braun Strowman at this point. If you're trying to book him then he's got to win. Mm-hmm. He's got to win all the time.
Unless there's a screw job like Omos costing him a match.
Yeah.
You know, then I can see them, planning the loss that doesn't make him look weak,
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see that. Braun versus Escobar, I think, would be dope. If booked right and it's not a squash.
Yes. And that's the thing with Strowman a lot. His stuff is squash. When was the last time we really got a good match out of Braun?
That's true. So also now we have Shotzi Blackheart winning a match with a bunch of women to become the #1 contender for Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
Okay. Now they're building Ronda Rousey even bigger. They put her together with Shayna Baszler.
I like that.
I think this is a good, little soft title match to lead to something bigger. Where they're leading with Ronda and Shayna, I don't know.
I think they're gonna play the best friends aspect because they are friends. They are friends from MMA. I think they play that. They're gonna give this soft match, like you said, with Shotzi to Ronda, and in the long run, it's gonna be Shayna versus Ronda, and I think that's who Ronda drops the title to. Shayna.
That would be dope if she drops the title.
She does the honors for her best friend.
Bring back the other 2, Marina Shafir and the other one.
Marina Shafir's in AEW right now, so I'm not sure if they can bring her back because of this whole contract tampering thing that was going on. And
you got the forbidden door.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think it's needed.
Yeah, it's not.
I just don't think it's needed. It's like, okay, these two happen to be here right now. Let's use that, and I think it's a great way to put more of a spotlight on Shayna and put Shayna back, because in NXT she was unstoppable, and again she got caught in that main roster thing, where she got called up to the main roster and she tried to find her way in the main roster, and it's like
He
it
did
was
just a while on Raw, and then they started sticking her in all these tag teams.
yeah, all these tag teams, and then she just forgot lost in the shuffle. That always happens, and now I think she needs a title run, and I think taking it from Ronda, I think they put on a good match 1-on-1 with each other, and I think taking it from Ronda at a big show at a pay-per-view would be good, or
Yeah,
premium live event. I'm sorry, premium live event.
WrestleMania, WrestleMania.
Boom. You see, I like booking to
They
WrestleMania
just,
because that's where
they
everything's
just
gonna end
teamed
up.
up. They just teamed up now. It's November. 5 months is Mania.
Yeah,
I think that's about long enough.
yeah.
Give or take.
Give her a couple softies,
Mm-hmm.
and
Ronda
then have
versus
the big turn.
Ronda versus Shayna at Mania. I can see it. Shayna as the heel. Gotta be Shayna as the heel.
Shayna wins the Royal Rumble.
Shayna wins the Royal Rumble. You heard it here first on Four Corners Network from the lips of Kris fucking. Shayna Baszler wins the Royal Rumble for the women in 2023. You heard it
I
first,
think
right
I
here.
think that's where they're gonna go, and I think that's what they should do. And again, put that spotlight on Shayna Baszler, and
We write this
we
shit.
write this shit. We write this
We
shit.
write this.
uh, um.
I like that idea, Kris. I'm with it 1,000%.
So far, I've got two matches on my WrestleMania card.
You were
I've
right
got
with me again. I was wrong with Charlotte Flair. All right, all right. You was right. I was wrong. So this is good.
I've got two matches for my WrestleMania card. It's gonna be Roman Rock, where Roman beats Rock with the Rock Bottom. I am quoted as saying that. Okay, and that's gonna start some more turns and shit like that. And
The
we're gonna
bloodline
have
hand over the
yeah,
Rock celebrating.
we're gonna have the no, Roman's gonna go over. We're gonna have the Shayna Baszler Ronda Rousey match.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna talk about some Bloodline, because I love what they've been doing, and this week, uh, this week,
The Usos have beat the New Day to
yeah,
retain, and they now
it's history.
surpass their reign at 483 days. So they are the longest reigning SmackDown Tag Team Champions in history. Congratulations, Jay, Jimmy, Solo, and Sammy. You all had a in keeping those titles in the bloodline.
Yes, and you know what? This kind of goes with the episode of Territory Talk that we uploaded earlier. Um, on that episode, we talked about Polynesian pro wrestling and how strong that family is. And today, look at this: the longest reigning tag team champions, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is about to beat Bruno Sammartino, Buddy Rogers, and who else was it? Buddy Rogers, Bruno Sammartino, and Bob Backlund.
Bob Backlund's reign.
He's about to beat their reigns.
He's getting there. And I think if he goes to Mania as champion, he beats all those records. He has to. It's still 5 months away to Mania. He's at 800 somewhat days, I think, right now.
Yeah.
So think about 5 more months, 30 days a month, 150 more days. He hits the 1,000 mark. I don't know what's Bruno's actual number. I know Bruno's number one, and I don't know his actual number, but it is in the 1,000, and I just can't remember the exact number. But
Well,
I think Roman Reigns gets there if he keeps the title to Mania, and if he beats The Rock, he holds the title past Mania, and who knows how long he'll have it. He'll probably just retire.
I think that's where Cody comes in after that. Let him have the match with The Rock, defeat The Rock, show he's the true tribal chief. He's the longest. Cody takes it.
At SummerSlam or
I think
before some.
I think that's something we can get a little juice out of, but maybe
I think I think
SummerSlam.
it'll be a one and done though. I think it'll be the first time Cody Rhodes returns and they have that match. Cody Rhodes will win it. So that's why. How would they book it? Would
I
he return the main
Well,
right after?
the blood. This is where the blood. Like I said, the bloodline's gonna turn. The bloodline's gonna turn. When I said earlier that after WrestleMania, there's gonna be a shitload of bloodlines gonna turn. Jimmy, and Jay Uso, who, what is it? Jay Uso already had problems with Roman Reigns in the past with this whole bloodline shit and the shit that's going on now. I think, boom, shit's gonna hit the fan with the bloodline, and that's what's gonna happen.
Interesting thoughts. Interesting thoughts. I don't know about Jimmy and Jay turning on Roman.
I think it's gonna happen.
I think
Sammy's definitely gonna get kicked out around that time.
if we're booking it as Roman beats The Rock, I see the whole bloodline standing over The Rock. I don't see a
Yes,
turn.
and shortly after that, there's gonna be the problems because he lost the title.
The only thing I can see is maybe Sami Zayn takes them all with him, and he wants the title from Roman.
No. Sammy's gonna get
The only
kicked.
way I see the
Sammy's gonna
bloodline,
get kicked out and become the biggest babyface.
I see as Sami takes the bloodline, and
No,
they start a civil war against
no,
against
my
the head of the
God.
table.
No.
It's gonna be a civil war against
No.
the head of the table, led by Sami Zayn and the Usos. Solo is gonna be with Roman.
No, I don't think that at all, bro.
I
You
love
know
that.
what? Let's talk about some Bray Wyatt. Let's talk about some Bray Wyatt.
Bray
All right.
Wyatt and Knight in the backstage.
Nice little interaction there.
Whoa,
Random.
I like that headbutt that laid him out.
Yeah. And I liked how he acted after. Like it's like you could tell he didn't talk after, but his eyes said, "I didn't want to do that, but you made me do it. You made me do it."
But I would like to see that match. That's a match. That's a good first match for I think.
I want to see a Bray. I want to see Uncle Howdy already. I want to see these characters start debuting already.
Yeah. And from what I heard, he's pushing hard for Triple H to bring back Bo Dallas and Eric Rowan. He's pushing hard for those two to be hired back. From read today on the dirt sheets.
Interesting.
So, interesting. He seems to also have full control of his storyline with Triple H.
All right.
Full control of how he's building this story and this character.
Well, if that's the case, then again, I just want to start seeing something fluctuate. It's like, okay, I get the hidden meanings now.
It's a month and a half. All right, give it. I know it's at least 4 weeks, at least 4. So it's time to start. What happened to all the fucking people that were popped up during his return? Are they not debuting or anything?
Well, the only one that seems to be there is Uncle Howdy.
But what was the Wyatt 6? And then you had 5 things, and you had all his puppets appearing as people. I mean, I'm confused now. I thought all of those were going to be unmasked little by little when they were going to be with him. Yeah. And then all of a sudden there's an Uncle Howdy. I mean, so I want to see where it's going, but I think Bray Wyatt is a little confused.
Listen,
right
I like
with it.
I like a slow build, but this is like, okay, give me something. Give me something to taste. Give me something. All right, I smell the steak. Give me a little piece to taste it. Just
I think if something big doesn't happen at Survivor Series, then I'm gonna get tired of the storyline.
Like they announced like they made this big thing about him being at Crown Jewel, and it was the same thing he's been doing on SmackDown.
Yeah, it was still nothing. So I mean, if something big doesn't happen on Survivor Series, some reveal, something, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be like, it's taking too long. It's gonna be my bathroom break whenever he comes on the TV.
So, Punn, why don't you tell him about the end of SmackDown and the setup for Survivor Series War Games?
So yes, Roman Reigns and the Bloodline come out to end the show. He's cutting a promo. Roman Reigns seemed like he was about to put over the Usos from beating, New Day passing the record. And they get interrupted from the Brawling Brutes. You have Butch and whatever the other dude's name is,
Rich Holland.
Yeah. Rich Holland come out and, they're tired of the bloodline, and they want to fight. It's fight night.
The blue line.
All right. And then they brought back up, and then you have Sheamus coming out with his arm wrapped up 3 times the size of his normal arm. Starts talking on the mic, but nothing's coming out. Nobody can hear anything. Then a couple of words fade in and out, and then it goes quiet again, and he's still just talking. Roman Reigns, with the best line of the show, cracks up and says, "Ha! You can't even get the mic to work, and you're here for fight night?" No, the brawl commences. They're all fighting, but since it's 4 of them, 3 of them, Bloodline gets the upper hand until the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre saves the day. So now you got a 4-on-4. Sami Zayn wasn't there, but he will be back next week. So he's the 5th member of their team. But who will the Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre pick to be the 5th member of their team? I'm thinking it might be Raw's Kevin Owens.
Kind of like what he did with NXT when he just popped up randomly at NXT.
That's my pick. With the Sami Zayn factor of the Bloodline. I'm going with Kevin Owens from Raw. It's going to be this.
Yes. I think you're right.
That makes sense. That
makes sense to me. Oh, sorry, my lighter dropped there. Yeah, that makes.
I think Sheamus, Rich Holland, and Butch inside War Games. Ooh, that's gonna be.
That's gonna be. Yeah, that's gonna be it. These War Games matches are gonna be something to see, man.
War Games are already fucking fun and exciting, but you're putting those 3.
See, here's the thing, and not only that, you put the history of this is the first time it's happening at Survivor Series. When you think about the history of NWA and WCW, War Games was their thing, and Survivor Series was like their team, was WWE's team elimination thing. Now it's combined. Now it's like it's come full circle. Now it's officially like
you're gonna have the OC versus Judgment Day at Survivor Series. You're gonna have that match. I don't know if it's gonna be elimination style, but you're definitely gonna have that 4-on-4 match for sure. All right, you're gonna have the men's and the women's War Games match. So we got 3 Survivor Series style matches, at Survivor Series already.
Yeah.
So that's cool to start bringing back the feel of Survivor Series. We haven't had.
It's been missing. Yes.
Feel in quite a long time.
It's been missing.
Yep. So I think this is the start of it.
It is.
But I would like to see more than those 3 matches as multi 4-on-4, 5-on-5 matches.
Well, we still got some time to build. A little bit of time to build. See what happens in the next couple of weeks. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of me and Punn, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the Four Corners Network. This is the Four Corners Podcast, and if you want to stay updated with the Four Corners Network, right above Punn's head, that's right, I love when he does that jig, right above Punn's head, it's at number 4 Corners Net, that's right, 4 Corners Net. You can find me on all social media platforms at Rex Wrestles. That's REX Wrestles. Punn, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me at John Punn, PUNN, no pun intended, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Come say what up. Come say hi. We are your hosts of the Four Corners Network. Take it away.
Again, thank each and one of you for tuning in to the Four Corners Podcast. As always, be excellent to each other and keep supporting pro wrestling.